Yes! Had a 17 kill game with this build, now 15 kill.
Hey agents, in this video I'm going to go in depth on what I believe to be the best build for players that are brand new to PvP in the Division 2. What makes it the best? I, alongside a team of highly trained agents, considered how easy it is to farm, how easy and fun it is to use, and how strong it is. While I go over the build, you can watch this match of Conflict I played using this exact build. It's a great example of the potential of this build, but not necessarily the norm. Anyways, here it is. A 4-piece striker with Ridgeway's Pride chest piece and an SMG. I'll go over each part individually with an explanation as to why it was chosen for this build, starting with strikers. Why is this build built around strikers? Because for starters, gear sets are incredibly easy to farm as they only come with one attribute compared to the 2 attributes of high-end gear. Second, the 2-piece bonus is 15% weapon handling, which makes it easier to hit your shots. Shooting other players in PvP is very different from shooting NPCs, but throwing some handling on your build will make it a bit easier. Then we have the 3-piece bonus of 15% increased rate of fire, which is obviously very powerful, and then Striker's Gamble, the 4-piece bonus. Basically, you hit shots, you build stacks. More stacks equals more damage. Don't hit shots, lose stacks. And with the backpack, you get more damage per stack. Simple concept that makes for very fun gameplay. Now, if you don't mind grinding for a backpack, I'd recommend going with the Ceska backpack with crit chance and crit damage and the talent Wicked. This synergizes perfectly with Ridgeway's chest piece because you'll basically always be getting 18% total weapon damage. It's more upfront damage than Striker backpack, but less damage when you've got a lot of stacks. The reason I put the Striker backpack on is because high-end chest pieces and backpacks are incredibly hard to farm with the right talents and attributes, especially for this build because you'll want to recalibrate the core attribute from weapon damage to total armor, meaning you need a backpack that already has crit chance, crit damage, and Wicked. Back to the chest piece. You want to run the exotic Ridgeway's Pride chest. This is great for PvP because it bleeds and slows enemies you shoot within 15 meters. The bleed damage is negligible, but the slow is why we run this. Slowing your enemies is going to make it so much easier to hit them. Again, hit more shots, get more stacks, do more damage. It also gives a small amount of armor regen, which is never a bad thing. Fortunately, it already comes with crit chance and crit damage as the attributes, so it's perfect for us. To get this piece, there's no RNG involved, it's just a bit of a grind. You need to complete the Summit project, and voila, it's yours. A lot better than repeating the same content over and over again with a 1% drop rate. The final piece of gear in this build is a high-end mask, knee pads, holster, or gloves. Doesn't matter which one it is, but preferably it should be Ceska, because Ceska is the most efficient source of critical hit chance you can get, and it'll allow you to stack a bit of extra crit damage on the build. But if you can't find a Ceska piece with crit chance and crit damage, Sokolov or Grupo will also do. And again, you want to roll the core attribute to blue, so it'll be a little more difficult to find this piece. Moving on to our weapon. You're going to be running an SMG with the talent Sadist. Sadist is the perfect talent for a Ridgeway's Pride build because you get 20% amplified damage to bleeding targets. Everyone you shoot within 15 meters will be bleeding, so you'll be getting that damage pretty much 24/7. It doesn't have to be any specific SMG, but preferably one with a high rate of fire, so any of the vectors will do, the P90, MP7, MP5, or I'm running the Banshee. The high rate of fire will just make it easier and faster to build stacks. Also, as your third attribute, you'll definitely want damage to targets out of cover, which is the case for pretty much any weapon. Shouldn't be too hard to find a good SMG for this build at all. And if you're looking to farm anything in the general loot pool, Countdown on challenging is definitely the way to go. Just make sure you set your target loot to whatever you're farming for, whether it's Striker, an SMG, or Ceska. As for the skills, I always recommend using a scanner pulse, even though the cooldown is crazy long in Conflict. Vision is so important as it can show you where people are camping and where they're flanking from. The booster hive is also amazing if the other team is running any kind of status effects. And for your information, the enemy team is always running status effects. Once you get afflicted with bleed, burn, or any status effect, just drop your booster hive to cleanse yourself. Just keep in mind, it can't cleanse any debuffs from the Vile Mask, Pestilence, etc. Other skills like Seeker Mines or Sticky Bombs will stagger your enemies, so they're often used as a crutch by players who can't aim and don't want to learn to aim. That doesn't sound like you, does it? But really, whatever skills you like, whatever you're most comfortable with, just use them. Tier 0 skills aren't going to make or break a DPS build. And for the specialization, they've all got decent perks, but I like Sharpshooter for the cleansing medkit, flashbangs, 15% stability, and spammable bonus armor when you're in cover, or Survivalist for the team medkits and fire grenades. So take a look at the perks on the right side of each specialization and think which ones would work best for you. Is it the 200% armor medkit on Firewall? Is it the skill tier for Technician? Or the rate of fire and armor on kill from Gunner? They've all got upsides, so just choose what's best for you. Finally, let's get into the playstyle for this build. Obviously, using an SMG, you're going to want to be up close. And to apply the Ridgeway's bleed, you need to be within 15 meters. So that's going to be your limit to committing to a fight. You can certainly fire shots from further away to potentially build up striker stacks, but only do this when you've got cover nearby so you can easily disengage. Without stacks, you're going to lose duels to high-end builds, so try your best to fight with your team. If you're able to build stacks on a tank or someone shooting a teammate, that's going to give you a huge advantage if you find yourself in another fight before they decay. Remember, you're getting 1% damage for every stack you have, so even 20 stacks will make a huge difference. And don't expect to be running around in PvP at full stacks, ever. Now, a few things to keep in mind as a newbie to PvP. Movement is really important. Try to make your movements as unpredictable as possible, not only when you're running around, but even while you're shooting. Too many new players run in straight lines and stand while they shoot. As I mentioned before, stick to your teammates. Being with your teammates gives the enemies more targets to shoot at. Maybe they'll shoot you, maybe they'll shoot your teammate. If they aren't shooting you though, you'd better be building up stacks. And finally, have fun. Understand that if you're new to PvP, you probably aren't that good yet. I don't care how many legendaries you've speedrun or how fast you can complete Dark Hours. PvP is completely different, and most of the skills you've learned in PvE will not translate to PvP at all. So yeah, you're going to get destroyed by better, more experienced players. Try to enjoy the ride though, and actively think what you could have done differently in situations where you died, instead of blaming external factors. The Division PvP has its fair share of problems and has a steep learning curve, but once you get the hang of it, it can be super fun. And part of that fun is taking a build, like this one, and making it your own. No build is perfect for everyone. All these build videos on YouTube, think of them as rough drafts, and you are the editors. Go ahead and change them as you see fit. But anyways, that's the build. I hope all you noobs give it a try, and until next time, happy farming, agents.
Okay.
Boost will soon deactivate. The boost is being...
Oh, he's not on fire. If he gets on fire, I'm pushing it.
Allies have acquired the boost.
Ah, yes! Oh, get the fuck! Oh, come. Oh my god! This is the build! You could do it, he could do it, she could do it, anybody could do it. Anybody could do what I just did. That was not my skill. Zero skill involved. I'm lying, that was a lot of skill. A lot of up here, and then a lot of build too. Whew! My gosh, my golly. I told you it was gonna be a striker game. I told you. This is the build. Did I get Fear the Reaper? Oh, cool. What did I get? 17 kills. That's like more damage than everybody else in the game combined. There we go. There we go. This is the build. It's set in stone. Oh my god, dude. That was just like, honestly, that was just like the perfect game for a striker. I think there was 4 tanky guys. Cow's poop magic. Thank you, sir.